And we are live. Hello. How's everyone doing today? I'm Annie. This is my friend Ken.
Hi, I'm Ken.
It's Ken, also known as GameBits TV. If folks are online, can you just let us know how the audio is real quick? And actually, I realized the audio is working because I forgot to mute Twitch, and I also forgot to log out of a few things that will make this slow. So let me do that real quick. We are very professional here. All right, that should work. How's everybody doing today? We are going to cook things, as we often do on Mondays. Slight delay, yeah. Hopefully that'll get better now that I've closed out of a couple of things, Dave, but let me also get rid of... Yeah, that should help. Get rid of a couple of things on Safari. So, hey, we are going to make two things today. I just started a medically necessary diet, and so I'm going to make things that I can eat, which is not a vast list. But we are going to be making some chocolate... You're having fun, aren't you?
A little bit. Yeah, as long as I'm here.
Ken and I have known each other for
8
years now.
But who's counting?
But who's counting? You are. And we are also co-workers on our day jobs.
As of 7 months ago?
As of 7 months ago.
But
indeed.
who's counting?
But who's counting? So, delighted that he is teleworking from this area for a while, so we actually get to hang out, which is cool. So we are going to make, starting with chocolate peanut butter breakfast bars. So
That
I'm going to
sounds
put,
amazing.
yes.
Do we have to wait till breakfast to eat them?
No, we do not.
Thank God.
And we certainly will not be.
Good.
All right. So, let's take a look at the instructions. I just dropped it into chat. I also posted it in the Maidens Discord. Let's see if my Discord thing works here. No, it does not. We're having trouble with Streamlabs lately.
No.
But the Misbehaving Maidens does have a Discord. You can find links to it on our various social presences, and I will happily tweet a link after this if you're not already on. So, on the Discord, we do have a food and drink channel, a food and cooking channel, in which I post the recipes for the forthcoming stream. So, let's get started on this. Preheat oven to 350. Done. Line an 8x8 pan with parchment paper. We have parchment paper. Those are dates. Have you ever cooked with dates before?
I don't have a great history with dates, but I will eat these. Yes.
Okay.
Are they the pitless kind?
Yes.
Thank you.
There are no pits in those.
I'll have to remember that.
Parchment paper. That'll work eventually.
Why not?
All right. In a medium bowl, mix together oats, flour, cinnamon, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Now, with this recipe, because I am going gluten-free for the week, or for the next couple months, rather, I will be using, instead of all-purpose flour, I'm going to use oat flour, which shouldn't have a dramatic impact on the flavor or the consistency.
I hope so. I recently tried using almond flour instead of something else to make cranberry bread.
Oh,
And-
that would be way too dense.
As I found out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nut flours are very different. For me, I really like oat flour, but better than that if you're baking is to do like a gluten-free all-purpose blend. They sell that at Trader Joe's, which we share enthusiasm for Trader Joe's.
Yes.
People on the stream accuse me of being a Trader Joe's advertising vehicle because everything I make is with Trader Joe's products.
For you to be advertising, they'd have to pay you.
Exactly. They would have to pay me or something.
Yeah, there's no affiliate marketing here. We're just sincere
None
fans.
at all. Sincere fans because they make good products for cheap. This is not one of them. This is Bob's Red Mill oat flour.
Speaking of all the great Trader Joe's products, here's one that isn't.
Well, but the oats are Trader Joe's, so
Ah,
keeping up my rep here.
there you go.
All right, so we're gonna take.
Yeah, Trader Joe's is the first place I went when I pulled into Maryland last night.
Aw. Yeah. How did you like our Trader Joe's?
It's delightful. It's voluminous.
Voluminous. Yes. Yes, indeed it is. It is a large Trader Joe's.
Although the aisles are perpendicular to the entrance, unlike the most Trader Joe's I go to. So I was a little thrown up. I kept
Fancy.
walking into walls. I just had no idea where to go.
I realized I forgot to take cinnamon out. I think.
Cinnamon?
Cinnamon. Which is right here. My spice cabinet. Which is actually two cabinets that are overflowing because I am bad at that. All right. Before I put the cinnamon in, I will use the same measuring spoon for the baking powder
Smart.
and baking soda.
Great.
So let's see. Baking powder, we need a 1/4 teaspoon, which is what this is. Baking soda, also a 1/4 teaspoon.
And where would we find that?
Right here.
Ah,
Another Trader Joe's product. Actually, no, Bob's Red Mill products.
it's gonna be one or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah.
Well, I shop at two places. I shop at Trader Joe's and I shop at Mom's Organic Market. And this is what Mom
Organic Market.
says.
I'll have to remember that.
They are great. While you're here at some point, you should check them out. All right, and then also salt. Mom's Organic Market is pretty fabulous. I like them so much better than Whole Foods because, well, for one thing, they're not an Amazon subsidiary.
Good.
They are also employee-owned, which is really nice. And they are, they just added a vegan deli, which is really cool. And they have, just really good selection of products, especially products that cater to specific diets, which is really nice.
Non-mainstream. Yep.
Non-mainstream stuff. Okay, so we're going to mix these together. And then we'll set them aside.
When I got here last night, I looked up Trader Joe's. It said it was 6 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And so I assumed nobody's going to travel that far, right? 6 miles. So I texted you and said, where should I go? And you listed three grocery stores that were nearer. And then you said, but just go to Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I'm like, but I go to Trader Joe's, honestly. It's worth it.
Oh, okay.
So Ken texted me and said, where do I go for groceries? And I'm like, call me because I have opinions on this.
She did.
I did. I do.
Does.
Because we have like 6 grocery stores within 10 minutes driving distance.
And most of them are ones I've never heard of. Right.
Well, there's chains that are pretty, I don't know if they're necessarily local to here, but like the big chains around here are going to be Giant, Safeway, and Wise.
None of which we have in New England.
Yeah, so...
Oh, actually, we have the big Y, but that's different.
That's different, yeah. Wise, W-E-I-S. Wise is fine, but it tends to be a little more like, I don't know, I've not had great luck with their produce being terribly fresh and plentiful.
I did go there last night to get 2 things Trader Joe's did not. But that's all.
Yeah, it's good for that. It's good for, like, holy crap, I need something and I don't want to, like, navigate a parking lot of doom to get it.
Which most Trader Joe's have.
Most Trader Joe's indeed have a parking lot of doom.
It's just part of their appeal.
Right. I'm just going to check in on chat. I am half moderating here. All right, cool. Nobody's saying anything. We like you, chat. You can say things. It's okay.
As long as it's cool stuff.
As long as it's cool stuff. Yeah, right. Exactly. So in a microwave-safe bowl, melt the coconut oil. All right. We need 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, which
we blended earlier?
Nope. That's coconut milk. Coconut oil is different.
Have
you ever... Ooh, hey, we got a thing. Somebody subscribed. Thank you, person. Oh, hey, Hakan, how are you? Hakan is our fan in Norway, who I got to meet when I was in Norway.
How cool!
It was amazing. Yeah.
What a small world.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing. That's so great.
Yay.
So yeah, we're going to. So have you used coconut oil before?
Not in my house, but in other people's.
Okay. So you know what it's a solid.
Yes.
Cooking oil that you have to melt if you want to use it like a traditional cooking oil.
Right.
Now, when I was seeing a dietitian for a while, and by the way, there's a difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian. Did you know that? Anyone can call themselves a nutritionist. There is no licensing qualification. A dietitian, you have to be licensed.
I think I did know that because I used to work with a dietitian or a nutritionist at a healthcare facility.
Oh, okay. So I went to a dietitian because I needed someone who really knew their stuff. And one of the diet switches she recommended I make is instead of olive oil, using coconut oil where I could, because the fat chains on this are shorter and easier to digest.
Huh.
So if you're having digestive issues, coconut oil is a good swap. Hey, Hakan, you having a pretty rough cold? Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling well. We're doing okay. This is my friend Ken, if you are just tuning in. Ken is an old friend and now coworker.
She just found out how old I am. Now she's calling me her old friend.
My old friend.
Oh, like, put me in the home. Come on, where's my cane?
Old man. Did you ever watch Legend of Neil back in the day?
No, what's that?
It was a web series. It was Legend of Zelda based. That's only very, very snarky.
No.
And it's really, I think you have to buy it on Amazon now to stream it. You cannot just watch it on YouTube like you used to be able to.
In the good old days when everything was free.
Yeah. But anyway, there was the old man from Zelda. It's like, call me old man. He's like, old man? No, old man. They had this whole shtick about it.
They put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. So what is next?
So, all right. So we're melting the coconut oil.
We're going to take 2.5 minutes? No, 30 seconds.
30 seconds, not very long. We're going to beat in the eggs and the maple syrup and peanut butter. We are going to use eggs.
Cool.
These are not vegan, but
I'm not vegan.
Yeah, you are not vegan. I am not vegan. I cannot sit and eat a plate of eggs, but I can eat eggs in things. I already took the eggs out.
Who would eat a plate of eggs?
Well, I mean, for breakfast, right?
Oh, I guess.
Just like
I see.
Fried eggs or scrambled eggs
yes.
Upset my stomach almost instantly. But eggs like if I'm getting a little bit of an egg in the thing,
Right.
it's pretty much
That's
fine.
sufficiently melted
I
for
think
you?
it's close enough, yeah. So we want 2 eggs.
Is there ever anything you want me doing besides just being witty and charming?
Mainly witty and charming is helpful.
Whew, no pressure.
But when we get to rolling things, I will ask for your help to make the energy bites, because we have to roll them into balls.
Great.
So if you don't mind getting your hands messy.
Not at all. I will wash my hands thoroughly beforehand.
Yes. So it's just so delightful to have someone else on the stream with me, because usually it's just me talking to the air and occasionally chat, so...
I used to do a lot of Let's Plays on YouTube. I got very accustomed to talking to myself.
Yes. Do you have anything you would like to plug, by the way, while you are on here? Stuff that you would like people to check out?
Why, actually, I do. I am wearing
for
my Star Trek shirt tonight.
Yay.
Because I'm a big fan of Star Trek, as you are.
Yes.
And I have my own Star Trek Discovery podcast that I co-host
do.
with my friend Sabriel.
Yes.
So that show is called Transporter Lock, and you can find it at transporterlock.com. And in fact, we will be talking, I suspect, about the new Picard series that debuts this month. January 23rd
That's right.
is
That's
Picard.
coming soon.
Yes.
I'm really excited for that.
I think it's going to be good. I'm optimistic.
I as soon as they said 7 of 9 was in it, I'm like, done.
Spoiler.
I am watching. It was in the trailer. It's not a spoiler.
I successfully avoided every trailer for the new Star Wars movie.
Okay.
So going into that, I had no idea who was in it, when it was set, anything.
Wow. All right.
And now I want to go back and watch the trailers and see what would have been spoiled.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
So, yeah, do you want to tell them the other thing about Transporter Lock? Why they might want to watch?
Oh, yes, of course, because we have a wonderful voiceover artist who does the intro and outro. You may be familiar with that voice from this very Twitch stream.
Yes. My erstwhile career as a voiceover actor includes doing the intro and outro for not only Transporter Lock, but one of your other podcasts as well, Polygamer?
Yes, I also
Yes.
I also host a monthly podcast about diversity in gaming.
Yes.
The intro and outro for which is done by Annie. And I had a previous podcast that you also did the intro and outro for called Indiesider.
Right.
I ended that show 2 or 3 years ago after 64 episodes, but your
That's
voice was on
impressive.
there as well.
All right, Transporter Lock. I'm going to put these in the chat so people can see.
Yay.
Transporter Lock and then polygamer.com?
Yep, .net.
Oh, .net.
Polygamer.com is a French video game website.
Of course it is.
And I am using one of those domain watching services so that if it ever expires, I can buy it.
Welcome to homestarrunner.net. It's .com. All right, so Polygamer, and those are the 2 that are going
That's it.
currently. All right,
Yes.
so we'll put those
Great.
in.
Thank you.
Great. And also, Ken has a passion for the Apple II computer.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I grew up with the Apple II computer, which was made by Apple from 1977 to 1980 to 1993.
Wow, that is a long
16
longevity.
years.
I did not
for one model.
realize.
Imagine that nowadays. You wouldn't
And
see
they
it.
kept calling it the 2
the Apple II.
all that time.
Yeah.
Wow.
There were several models, like the 2E, the 2C, the 2GS, but it's interesting that the Macintosh didn't come out until 1984, whereas Apple as a company was founded in 76. So this is what they were making before the Mac. It's not compatible with the Mac and vice versa for the most part.
Right.
And yet there are still people nowadays who still use it, not as their main computer like I used to, but now it's more of a hobbyist machine. Just let's see
Yeah, people are still releasing software for it, right?
software and
For
hardware.
the Apple II.
Right. A computer that has not been made in 27 years. And now it's more of a challenge to see what can we make with such limited constraints, because constraints breed creativity.
They sure do.
And so when you only have like 64K of RAM or 140K floppy disk and your CPU is 1 megahertz, can you make a Twitter client with that? The answer is yes.
Wow. And there's an annual convention for that, isn't there?
Yes, it is called Kansas Fest. It's in Kansas City, Missouri every July, and I've been going for the last 22 years.
Dang.
I have no professional affiliation with it other than that I'm just a fan.
Well, sort of, but you put out a magazine.
We're just plugging all the things tonight.
Yeah, well, I think
Yeah.
these are all very interesting to our listeners.
So for people who still use the Apple II or are just curious or nostalgic, I have a quarterly print magazine. If you remember what print magazines are.
What is the print? What is that?
It predates PDF.
Oh.
So this is where you give
it's like
me
a
money.
hard copy PDF.
Right,
Okay.
right. It's almost like if you printed it.
Oh.
Yeah, and I mail out 4 issues a year. It's about 24 pages each, written by a staff of writers who are doing programming tutorials, reviews of new equipment, interviews with some of the luminaries and celebrities of the machine from 40 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and we just published our December issue 2 weeks ago, and now we're working on our March issue. This year is our 25th year in publication.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You've been doing that personally for 25 years.
So I am the 3rd editor-in-chief and the 3rd publisher.
Okay.
So I've inherited it from other people.
Wow.
I started in year 11, and now we're in year 25.
Dang.
So I've been doing it for 14, 15 years.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of fun. It's nice that a lot of people in the Apple II community are programmers and developers.
Yeah.
And I am neither of those things. So it's nice that
I mean, you're kind of a developer. At least you have more dev chops than I do.
I don't know about that. I know how to get around the command line, but that's pretty much it.
And you are much more swift with DNS than I am.
The only programs I've ever written and actually published were for the Apple II. But it's nice that I can bring my background in publishing and journalism to this tech community, and that's my contribution. I can't make new software, but I can report on it.
Sure. That's very cool.
And didn't you have some experience with the Apple II?
Not really.
You didn't grow up with one?
Well, the only time I used an Apple II was in junior high because those were the machines we had, which was a rude awakening for me because I grew up in a town with a major IBM plant.
Oh.
And so we had a grant from IBM in 1985. As early as 85, we had IBM PCs with color monitors in my elementary school. And so I used those, and we had one in my home from 1983 onward, a color monitor. And then suddenly it was this green on black thing, and I'm like, what? Where are the colors? What happened? Yeah, I had to take my typing class on an Apple II, and I was very resentful of not having a color monitor anymore, and having the keys be just a little different.
Yeah. Did you at least get to play Oregon Trail?
Yes, had to, yes. Did not want to because I don't like games where you die of horrible illness. I preferred Odell Lake.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Same company.
Sometimes they would let us choose which one. We could play Odell Lake, Number Munchers, or Oregon Trail, and I usually went Number Munchers or Odell Lake.
Yep. Do you know that you can play all those games in your web browser at archive.org?
Oh, yes, I did, actually. I just haven't. All right, so for those wondering what I've been doing while we've been talking, so I mixed the wet ingredients together, which in this case was melted coconut oil, 2 eggs, maple syrup, peanut butter, and vanilla.
Was it pure maple syrup?
Yes, it was. This is 100% pure Vermont.
Right from Vermont, New England. That's where I'm from.
And also Trader Joe's. Nice. So then I have just combined the wet ingredients into the dry, so it looks like this. So you can see, it kind of looks really unappetizing right now, not gonna lie.
Actually, I would eat that for breakfast.
Sure.
I'd probably get salmonella.
But if you saw it on the floor, you would think it was something different.
Indeed.
Yes. But we are going to bake this now, and we're going to fold in the chocolate chips. That's right.
Because there is something we're making that's no bake, but that's not this.
That's not this. The other things we're making are going to be no bake.
Cool.
I'm eyeballing the quarter cup because I don't think you can overdo chocolate chips usually. I might be slightly biased on this score. So, Ken is filming for posterity. All right, so we've got the chocolate chips mixed in, and now we're going to pour that into the pan, I believe. Spread the mixture into the pan, bake for 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. All right, let's see what chat's doing. Nothing. Hey, chat. Let us know if you have any questions. If you have questions about the Apple II or Star Trek, or
Annie and I just had a
Oregon
lengthy
Trail?
Discussion about the new Star Wars movie.
But now, Oregon Trail was developed by teachers in Minnesota, though, right?
It is true.
My old stomping grounds.
So I went to the Charles Babbage Institute, which is at UMN in Minneapolis.
We don't call it UMN. We call it U of M.
Damn
like
it.
we're the only U of M.
I thought I was being
University of
hip
Maryland
and
says
local,
UMD.
trendy. University of Doctors.
Yeah,
That makes no
basically.
sense. Okay, so I went to the University of Minnesota
Yep.
in Minneapolis, which has the Charles Babbage Institute, which is an exhaustive archive of information about computer history.
Oh, cool.
They don't necessarily have the hardware and the software, but they have a lot of interviews, documentation, etc.
Nice.
And yeah, one of their employees wrote an entire book about Oregon Trail.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I was able to get an autographed copy while I was there.
That's awesome. All right, so that's going into the oven. I think it said 15 minutes, right? Or no, 20 minutes. I have memory of things. 20 to 25, so there we go. 20. It'll probably be 25 knowing my oven. Tends to take longer.
So you tend to set it to the minimum to start? So
Yes.
it's 2025?
Yeah.
Okay.
You always want to check it just to be sure that it hasn't burned unwittingly. Because sometimes there are recipes too where, like, my go-to chocolate chip cookie recipe, which I keep here because I use it so often, This one says you want to bake it for 25 minutes. It only takes 15.
Ooh,
and I found that out the hard way. It's the best recipe, but you have to be very careful with it.
How often do you make that recipe?
Oh gosh. Whenever I have to bring some sort of treat somewhere, usually. So I end up making it probably about 6 to 8 times a year.
Okay.
Maybe not that often lately,
So
but
like every other month.
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's usually a reason to make chocolate chip cookies.
You want to know what my go-to recipe is?
What is your go-to recipe?
It's not quite as portable or shareable as cookies.
Uh-huh.
It's chocolate chip cookie pie.
Ooh.
And instead of flour, it uses garbanzo beans.
Garbanzo!
Yay!
Have you seen Steven Universe?
No.
There's a character named Garbanzo, and all he says is Garbanzo!
Great.
He's a little kid. He's really cute.
That's what I'm using in my recipe.
Yeah.
Is that kid.
Oh, yeah, it's true. University of Maryland grads are specific about what campus they go to. So they'll say, although I don't think the College Park ones say UM College Park, or University of Maryland College Park, I think.
Isn't UMD a kind of optical disc?
Maybe. But it's also University of Minnesota Duluth.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah. UMBC is University of Maryland Business College.
So many campuses.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to our next recipe, which I'm going to get rid of all the Google Analytics tags from
Universal
the link.
Media Disc.
There you go.
It's a discontinued optical disc medium developed by Sony for use on their PlayStation Portable, the PSP,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I never owned.
I never did either. I think there was talk about potentially getting one at one time, but did not.
But now you have a Switch, so you don't need one.
I know. I love my Switch so much.
I should have brought mine. We could play afterward.
Ah. Well, and you also wanted to print stuff.
I have one PDF with me that I would like to print later.
Cool.
Thank you.
Um,
Does your printer support AirPrint?
I believe so.
Sweet.
I will have to double check. All right. So now we're going to make no-bake energy bites, and this is something you can help me with.
And will we do this within the next 17 minutes?
Yes, we will.
Sweet. Let me prepare
Yep.
myself.
Yeah. Wash your hands.
Indeed.
So this is going to involve my food processor, which, for those who have tuned into the stream before, I don't like sudden loud noises, so I tend to mute the mic while I use the food processor, so just be aware of that. If it suddenly goes silent, that's why there's a towel
Thank you.
over there. Okay, so this is going to involve half a cup of raw cashews, half a cup of raw almonds, half a cup of dried cranberries, half a cup of chopped medjool dates, and a half teaspoon of vanilla extract, and that is it.
So this is a very easy recipe to double.
It's true. And we might actually have enough to double, but I don't know if I will like it enough to double it.
Sure.
So
I
I'm gonna
can
make.
work on chopping the dates.
We don't. I think we put them in the blender, but let me check because it says to chop them, but I think we pulse it.
Chop and then pulse. That seems redundant.
It seems redundant. Yeah, I think we can just throw them into that because yeah. Huh. Yeah, actually, we throw everything in the food processor. So let's start with the half cup. We start with the nuts, and we do the half cup of cashews. I'm glad I was looking for a use for this many cashews without just like snacking on them. So I'm glad the dates will wait for a minute because we do the nuts first.
I was going to say.
Oh, is that
It's not me.
something just started playing music? Oh, it's this website.
It's the recipe.
Thank you, Recipe, for playing music. That's really great. I don't know how to get you to stop. Oh, there we go. Hey, Safari's smarter than I am. Neat. All right. What is? Oh, I think I might have more. That is very old for the dates.
I did notice some of them had it.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I have other dates because I feel like I got more at one time. So our dates have expired.
Story of my life.
Yeah. You know what we can use in lieu of them though is I do have dried apricots.
Ah,
Which might
apricots.
also be good. But let me see what I've got for dates, because I have sort of this Fibber McGee and Molly Closet situation going on with my various cooking stuff.
I almost bought some dates last night.
Ah,
But for me, that's an indulgence because I just eat them straight.
I see.
Or make them into bread.
Makes sense.
Or into a pie crust, actually.
Ah,
Yeah.
they're very good. I think we could also replace them with honey potentially, which might be better if I don't actually have any more of them, which is kind of looking not great here.
Okay.
I could have sworn I had more dates, but I am 40, so you know what they say.
What did they say at
Pretty
40?
much.
At 40, you have no dates?
No more dates.
Oh. Don't do
Let's
this
see
to
what
me.
we've got.
Don't do this to me.
Those are best by December 19th, 2019.
That's less than a month.
That's less than a month, so we might be able to do that. And they're a dried fruit.
These look fine.
We also have raisins. They're not going to be quite as potent as the dates. Ooh, 2017. We should throw that out.
Make room for new dates.
Yep. Those are not dates. Those are prunes. Which I only had because I used them to make hand pies. They're part of my mincemeat.
Ah.
All right. So we're going to improvise because here on my kitchen we don't prepare.
That's a lot of honey.
That is a lot of honey. I go through a lot of honey.
Wow. Do you
All right.
put it in tea?
Yes, but also baking quite a bit. All right, so let's pulse this first. I'm going to mute the microphone to spare all of you because it's very noisy.
Bye.
So we will go ahead and mute. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Fun.
So those are now basically a meal in terms of they're just ground up real fine. We're going to improvise here a little bit. So the next thing it wants is adding the dates and vanilla and salt. We do not have dates, but we have apricots. So let's try those and see what happens.
Sure.
So we need about half a cup of them.
And that's just half a cup?
Yeah. And yeah, because they're not quite as sticky as...
There we go. I'll eat that one.
Yeah, you can eat that one. They're not quite as sticky. I'm going to also add honey, but I might do that at the end. And then cranberries. We need half a cup of dried cranberries. Rogue cranberry. All right. And vanilla. I make my own vanilla. I'm reusing this bottle that I bought from somewhere else.
So you get the vanilla bean and you make extract?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I have some in process right now, which you can reach because you're tall. That Stolnicha bottle right there is in process vanilla extract. If you want to bring that down real quick, I need to shake it anyway. Just be careful the Patron doesn't fall with it. Yeah, there you go. So this is some of next year's holiday gifts in process. I got a handle of vodka.
Yeah?
Pour out a little bit and throw in scraped vanilla beans and just let it hang out for like a year. And that's your vanilla extract.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all there is to it.
You take the bean out and when you're done?
Yes.
Okay.
You strain the beans out at the end, but you leave them in for...
So that's what extract is? It's basically vanilla flavored vodka?
Pretty much.
I mean, I knew it was alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know the details.
Yep. That's any kind of extract or flavoring is basically just infused vodka.
Great.
Today I learned.
CIL.
They probably use some other stuff. Oh, it wasn't muted. Huh. I hit the mute button.
We're not muted now, though.
Right. No, we're not muted now. So I'll try muting it again for this part.
Oh.
Stay.
Pretty full.
Still didn't mute. That's really weird. Oh, it's this.
Hi, and we're back.
Yeah. Oh. So, when your food processor starts to emit smoke, is a good time to stop. As we have decided. So I added some honey because it wasn't really chopping up very well, and I thought some liquid might assist that. So it did, sort of.
I mean, it is congealing, which we want.
Right. So we are going to now, we need something to roll these out onto. Mm-hmm. So my parchment paper and I think a cookie sheet will do well. There they are. Boom. Also help if I read the rest of the recipe, probably.
What's next?
What else we got here? All right, so scrape it down. Oh, and add up to 2 tablespoons of water. Now it tells me. You may need to remove the mixture, place it in a bowl, and mash it together with your hands or a spatula. Make little balls about 2 teaspoons each and store them in the fridge or freezer.
So do you want to say that we're using honey instead of water?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah, I can... I may have burned out my motor on that little processor. No. That is real strong there.
The processor that couldn't.
Yeah. But what we ended up with is that, which I think is going to work pretty nicely. We'll find out.
I get to see it like that.
Well, you can try, but what I think we should do is roll these into little balls, like grab about, I don't know, like yay much.
Yep.
And roll it into a ball like so, and put it on the thing.
Great. We can do this together.
We can do this together, exactly.
A little ball.
Little ball of stuff, and if you want to eat one immediately, I will not hold it against you.
Oh, mine's a little bit bigger than yours.
It's all right.
I'll try to be smaller.
These are basically going to be my midday snacks because I usually can't be bothered to make a proper snack in the middle of the day.
What would a proper snack
I don't know,
be?
like crackers and cheese or something. Like I can't eat cheese right now, or crackers for that matter, unless they're gluten-free. But, you know, like assembling something, like celery and peanut butter is one that I've done here and there. But like most days I'm like, I don't have time.
Ants on a log?
Yeah.
What about just a piece of fruit, like a banana?
Yeah, I'm going to try bananas again. I have not done well with bananas recently, but I'm going to give them another go and see if I can do them, because I do like them.
Potassium.
But, yeah, potassium's good for you. But yeah, like bananas and, like, I'm not really supposed to eat much for apples right now, but I'm going to eat an apple here and there anyway. I'm basically taking, like, the 2 hardline things my doctor gave me was no gluten, no dairy. I'm like, that I can do. And then he's like, but also really no processed carbohydrates at all. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your definition of processed? Because, I mean, flour is processed, but it's still pretty much the pure form of the thing. And he kind of gave me this answer of like, well, you know, like you don't want to eat like chips or a taco shell or something. And I was like, I mean, okay, but I'm not taking a super hardline stance on that because it's just so much harder to do. And I'm going to be going to a convention fairly soon and will not be able to cook for myself.
Do you want to tell us about that convention?
Yeah, so we are performing at MarsCon next week. And if you go, you can meet Kay. So here if you want to wash the sticky off your hands, too.
It's Friday and Saturday in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yep.
Oh, that's right.
In Williamsburg, Virginia, it is a sci-fi con with an emphasis on literature. So it should be, it's historically been a lot of fun. We've been 1 or 2 times before and always had a great time. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's kind of hard to feed yourself at a convention. So.
Oh, I hear that. I go to PAX every year and it's demanding.
Yeah, well, yeah. PAX Unplugged is real hard to find food. And then I found out after I'd already eaten dinner that they had a food court.
Live and learn for next year.
Yep. So yeah, I'm going to try one of these and see how they are before we chill them.
I like that one of them has a whole apricot.
Mm-hmm. Have that one if you want.
It's so cute, though.
That's pretty good.
I will try this little one.
I rather like that. And that's a thing I could bring to the convention with me and eat. So here's what they look like, I think. Here, I'm going to tilt the camera down so you can see better. They're just little delightful energy bites.
Aw, yay.
You want to take a picture? Our handiwork?
Sure. Let me Toto. And one of the Happy Chef. Yay.
All right, so I'm gonna pop those in the fridge. Oh, they're tasty. I'm excited about this. I like the cranberry and the vanilla, and I think the apricot works pretty well in there too.
You know what I have also made before?
There we go.
You had pulled this out, but we haven't used it yet.
We haven't. I thought about putting that into the energy balls and then decided not to.
Because there's a recipe for energy balls on the back.
There sure
Rolled
is.
oats,
and
chocolate chips, flaxseed, peanut butter, maple syrup, and vanilla.
Let's do it.
What, now?
Yeah,
Do you have all those things?
I do. Right in front of us.
Oh
in
my
fact.
gosh. So we're making a surprise recipe.
Mhm.
Subscribers get a bonus.
They do. So, all right. Combine all ingredients together in a bowl. Form into 1-inch balls using hands.
No food processing needed.
No food processing needed.
So
So,
1 cup rolled oats.
we have those.
And that's the same flaxseed that I buy from Trader Joe's.
Ah,
And that I put in my cereal and yogurt every morning.
it's very good for you. It's very healthy.
Well, flaxseed has omega-3 fatty acids,
Mm-hmm.
just like fish oil, which I don't
Yes, it
eat
does.
because I'm a vegetarian.
Right.
And even some flaxseed capsules come in gelatin capsules, which I also don't eat.
Gotcha.
So why not just get the real thing instead of a pill?
Exactly. Yep, flaxseed is great. You can add it to smoothies. You can add it to a lot of different things.
Yep, it's one of those add-ins at the smoothie store
Mm-hmm.
for an extra kick.
And for those who menstruate, flaxseed is actually a very good thing to help balance things during that time of the month and make things less uncomfortable.
I did not know that.
Omega-3s and 6s actually are both very good for that. And then peanut butter, maple syrup. I started saying syrup like a proper Easterner as
Instead
opposed
of
to
syrup.
syrup.
Ah.
I've always said syrup growing up.
Now, what about the kind of a candy-coated apple that you buy at a fair? What do you call that?
A candy apple.
But
A caramel apple.
caramel?
Mm-hmm.
You don't say caramel?
I've started saying caramel more, but not historically. We always said caramel.
Okay. The very first time I ever heard anybody call it a caramel apple was, this is such a weird memory, Lois and Clark. They went to a fair and she asked for a caramel apple and I'm like, a what? Oh, Terry Hatcher.
Okay, so you lived in Australia as I did.
We each went there as undergrads.
Yes.
I think the same time, like
Did
spring
you-
of 2000.
Did you hear what they call cotton candy?
It's like candy floss.
Yeah, or fairy floss.
Fairy floss.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That one threw me for a loop at first.
I hope to be back there later this year.
Awesome.
So that's
Whereabouts do you want to go there?
I spent a semester in Melbourne, so I think I'll go back there.
Nice.
So that's another thing I can plug is that I am a digital nomad, which means I have no permanent address. I move every month or so.
It's like the wind.
Not like a leaf on the wind.
Actually, I was thinking more Tom Servo with the Tom, I don't get you. Nobody does. I'm the wind, baby.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's why I just pulled into Maryland yesterday, is because I basically just moved here from Massachusetts, and before that Syracuse, and before that St. Louis, and before that Amsterdam. And so I am headed to North Carolina next week for about a month.
Nice.
And then my goal later this year is to be in Australia and New Zealand and Hawaii and Alaska.
Nice.
In fact, next month when I drive from Durham to Pittsburgh, I will pass through West Virginia, which will make all 48 continental states I've been to.
That's very cool.
And once I hit Hawaii and Alaska later this year, I will be in all
50.
50, all 100.
I don't know. We should have 51 at least, but Puerto Rico.
I would say 52 with DC.
that's true. And
Yeah.
honestly, Guam, like after watching John Oliver's bit about territories, Guam needs statehood.
Yes.
Like they at least deserve to vote because we have so many Guam residents who are not U.S. citizens who serve in the military, but they do not get the right to vote, which is ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
If you can die for a country, you should be able to help choose its leaders to determine whether you die for your country.
I concur.
Yeah.
But if you want to follow my travels, you can go to roadbits.net. ROADBITS.net. Can I put that in the chat?
Yeah. Throw it in there.
Just gonna type away at your keyboard.
Go for it. My little bitty 13-inch MacBook keyboard.
It's adorable. I just sold my iPad mini last week.
Oh, nice.
I'd had it for years and I loved it. I got it primarily as a gaming device because I wanted to play Framed, which
Okay.
is a really good iOS game. But now that I have the Switch, if I'm going to travel with a portable game system, it's not going to be my iPad.
Yeah.
And I was able to expense a Kobo e-reader through work. so I don't need to read on my iPad Mini.
Okay.
So apparently I'd rather travel with the Switch and the Kobo than just the iPad Mini. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense.
2 devices.
I use a Kindle and a Switch, so.
Oh, there you go.
I love my Kindle so much. I want to like be less Amazon-y for ethical reasons, but my god, the Kindle is a nice device.
That's why I got the Kobo.
Yeah.
I use a lot of Amazon products, but I figured if I have the opportunity to minimize that.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize at the time. Well, I'll tell you that later.
Okay. But
because it's related to work, and we shouldn't be talking about work.
fair. So what I just made is the recipe on the back of the flaxseed meal, which is just little flax energy bites.
Yep.
And now we can make these into...
It says to freeze for 1 hour.
Yeah, so we can taste them, but they're not going to be quite shaped correctly. I'm going to actually have to use a fork for these. And let me clear some space so we can actually roll them over here because that is warm.
As well it should be.
And I think we'll add it to the existing tray and see if we can get them all on the same tray.
Do you think we'll freeze them or refrigerate them?
I think it said fridge or freezer, didn't it? Freeze until set. Okay, you're right. So let's use a...
Do you have another baking sheet?
I don't, but what I do have that will fit better is a Tupperware container.
Ah, great.
But again, with the Fibber, McGee, and Molly things here, for those who are not ancient and don't know that reference...
Which would include me.
Yeah, and I don't actually have it clean. Fibber, McGee, and Molly was a radio program in the 40s.
Okay.
And it was about a married couple who, it was just a standard sort of sitcom format. But the shtick was that Fibber McGee had this front closet that was so packed full of stuff that when he opened it, everything fell out, and they had the sound effects on the radio of all the clattering, dinging, whatever, everything falling out. And inevitably, at some point in every episode, he'd go to get something out of the closet and be like, "Fibber, don't open the closet!" And
He'd never learned.
Right, so that was the gag. But actually, let me see.
And this was a radio show?
This was a radio drama.
How old are you?
Well, so fun fact about me. When I was 13 years old, and until I was done with college, actually, I participated in a local radio theater group where we would take scripts from old radio plays and do the sound effects and everything the old school way. We had
a Foley guy?
We had a Foley guy, and we would perform them live on stage.
Oh, that's cool.
For an audience, and then we also recorded them, and I have recordings of a couple of them. But I was the only child involved in this until... Well, for a while, I was the only person under, I'd say, 35.
Wow. Who
was part of this. You can help roll here if you like.
Thank you. I would like.
So, yeah, this was like my acting hobby because our local standard community theater, I was only involved in once because it was very cliquey. And it was kind of like, unless you were already involved and unless you had like family members, like usually the kids involved were there because their mom and dad were in the community theater. My parents were not actors. So it was very hard to get roles in that. I would audition and just nothing would happen. And maybe I wasn't that good. I don't know. I was 10. How do you know if you're a good actor at 10?
Right.
But radio theater pretty much accepted me immediately, and I always got a part when I tried out. It didn't, I'd always have 2 or 3 parts, in fact, and you got your script on stage. So you only had to rehearse, I think, 3 or 4 times.
That's nice.
And then you performed, and it was kind of a nice little, one and done kind of acting thing to get into. Oh, heck.
Want me to take care of that?
We both, why don't you look and see if they're done? Hands are goopy.
Now, how will I know if they're done?
I will look. They're supposed to be golden brown and not look super wet on the top, I think.
Let's take a
so
look.
There is here's a hot pad over here. Yep. I made that, by the way.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
A hot pad.
Hot pad, yeah. It's getting there, but I would give it a few more minutes.
I'll set the timer for 3.
That sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, this is getting less and less cohesive as I go.
It's not cohering?
It's not cohering very well.
Did we miss a step?
No. Incidentally, We're going with it. It's fine.
I'm sorry. I just saw the trailer for Clue today.
Oh.
Tim Curry. No.
Oh, the original Clue, not the new Clue?
Yes.
They're remaking it.
I heard that Jason Bateman is directing the new one.
I thought, but it's produced by Ryan Reynolds, I believe.
I heard that name associated as well.
Yeah.
But I think Jason Bateman is directing.
Okay.
And may even star.
Okay.
But
I don't know. I don't know if you can improve on greatness.
you can't. I wish they would remake crappy films, because then you at least have somewhere
Right?
to go with it.
Right?
But so are they definitely making a new Clue?
I believe so.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in the trailer stage yet, though. I don't think they've begun shooting.
I don't think so.
Ugh.
Yeah, Tim Curry is just a freaking legend.
What about his TV show Earth 2?
I never saw it.
Well, we all make mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's had lowlights in their career. He also did the voice for that one video game where he's like, finally, the one place capitalism hasn't tainted space! And then there's this great little clip of him doing this. And he could tell he cannot hold a straight face for it at all. He's just like, space!
What game was that?
I don't know, but he played like a Russian something.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
I'll look it up after this.
Maybe it was like Crazy Ivan or something.
I don't know, but it was very, very funny because if you find it, I don't know. It's just so clearly a paycheck, and yet he's like, you know what? It's ridiculous, and I'm rolling with it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Kind of like how Mark Hamill was in Wing Commander.
I liked her too. Oh God, Wing Commander. I saw Wing Commander in the theater on opening night because I was dating someone so into Star Wars that he wanted to see the Phantom Menace trailer, and it was the first Phantom Menace trailer. So we had to see that piece of shit.
Language.
Oh, I can swear on this stream.
Although I think Mark Hamill was in the Wing Commander video game in the cutscenes, not in the Freddie Prinze Jr.
Gotcha.
film.
No, I saw the film. The film.
Because I remember
the film made me so angry.
I remember an outtake of the movie.
Here's what we made! Yay!
Very, very nice. Oh, did you try one?
Not yet. Did you?
No.
Let's see. Let's freeze them just a little bit, and then we can try
Okay.
some. We'll wait until those are out of the oven.
But I think there was an outtake from one of the video game cutscenes where Mark Hamill is talking to these young cadets, and then he storms off stage, and the cadets are just left standing there, and one of them turns to the other and says, "That was Luke Skywalker."
That's fantastic.
I remember a friend of mine, I was saying, this was like 4 years ago, and I was saying how Luke Skywalker was probably going to be in the new Star Wars movie, which at the time was The Force Awakens.
Right.
And my friend said, well, good for Mark Hamill. It's not like he's got anything else going on in Hollywood. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? And she says,
You're
well,
off screen.
right. Well, she says he hasn't done anything else since the last Star Wars back in '83. I'm like, oh.
I mean, Batman the Animated Series, hello.
He is the Joker.
Such a voiceover actor.
Yeah, he's done a ton of things. He even did a music album with Brent Spiner.
Of course he did.
He was the only person not singing though. It was a musical like narrative, so there was a story, and he played every part that wasn't sung.
Huh.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow.
Dreamland, but Brent Spiner.
Okay. Oh, Red Alert 3 was the game. Thank you. Yes. We'll have to look that up. Also, Hakan, it is very, very late for you. I'm impressed you're still up.
That was a Command & Conquer game, right? Red Alert 3?
I don't play those games. I don't know.
Nor do I. I spend more time reading magazines about video games and listening to podcasts about video games than I do playing the video games.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Well, it's a fascinating medium.
It is. It is indeed.
Yeah. Back to Tim Curry, though.
Oh, yes. We always have more Tim Curry.
If I ever had the opportunity to meet Tim Curry and tell him, here's what I loved you most in, I would probably knock him off his chair, because it would not be Rocky Horror. It would not be Clue. It would not, although Clue's really close, it would not even be Hunt for Red October or any of those. I'd say, I just loved you so much in the movie Oscar, which almost nobody knows.
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
I don't think.
So Oscar is a farce set in 1928 or 30, right around...
We must be precise.
Circa 1930, because they do reference the Valentine's Day Massacre.
I'm just going to lick this bowl.
Go for it.
On Twitch.
So, yeah, it was... but it's a farce. I think it's based on a stage play, and it reads kind of like a stage play, because almost all the action takes place in one of two locations. So, Sylvester Stallone stars as a mobster who has promised his father on his deathbed that he will go straight, that he will give up his life of crime and become an honest man.
This sounds like Johnny Dangerously.
And he, yeah.
With Michael Keaton.
Kinda. I like it a little better. So he promises his dad he'll go straight. So it fast forwards, it goes from the scene of his deathbed to this is the day Snaps, the gangster's name, is going to go straight. And everything goes wrong.
Oh.
Absolutely everything goes wrong. And there's a whole bit with like mistaken identity, but with these black bags that look identical. One has money,
happens.
one has underwear, and one has jewels. And they are constantly getting mixed up. To the hilarity of everyone. Also, Hank Azaria is in it.
Oh.
Also, Marissa Tomei is phenomenal in it.
When did this movie come out?
It came out in 1992, I believe.
Wow.
But it's hysterical. And Tim Curry plays an elocution professor, an elocution teacher named Dr. Poole. And he is teaching he's teaching Sylvester Stallone how to speak not like a gangster. Because Sylvester Stallone's like...
Wants to go straight.
Yeah, he's trying to sound like a banker. He's going into banking. And, it's like, round the rough and rugged rocks the
Ragged
Russell rudely ran. And he's like, all of that. And it's round the rough, rugged rocks,
Sounds like Rocky,
yeah. And so he's like, no, round your R's, and like gives, it's too funny. But it's one of those movies almost nobody has seen.
It's like My Fair Lady with Sylvester Stallone.
Right. So he probably doesn't even remember doing it, and it's a bit part. Like, he only has a couple of scenes he's in. But he's brilliant in it. And yeah, the way I saw most movies as like a preteen and a teen was my best friend and I had sleepovers, and before I showed up, she and her parents would just pick a movie for us to watch. So I'd show up and there'd be something to watch, and usually I had no input in this and was fine with whatever it is, because I think I just liked movies as a concept back then, and I was pretty happy with whatever I watched. But that's how I saw Sneakers, It's how I saw Oscar, it's how I saw Highlander. Accidentally saw my first R-rated movie without realizing it was R-rated when I was like 13. My parents were very hard line on the PG-13 thing. I could not see a PG-13 film until the day I turned 13, by God, which meant even the 1987 Batman movie I couldn't watch until like a year or two after it came out. A few years after it came out. And I collected the trading cards, so I knew everything that happened in that film. I just wasn't allowed to watch it. But yes. Haven't fixed your sleeping pattern since the holidays. Well, that I understand. I'm gonna take these out here again. But I think that looks much better.
Yay!
We're gonna go with that. That looks kind of lovely. Let's sort of bird's eye angle and hope that works. Yes. Yes, timer. I forgot to turn you off. Let's turn off the oven. So let's see if I got the angle right or if I need to do this again, because I'm watching slightly delayed on Twitch here. Yeah, okay, you can kind of see it. So it's very hot. But I can actually... I had another hot pad somewhere. And
yeah, it's right in front of you.
There it is. So I can show these, and I will angle this down a little bit. Pull up OBS so I can see what I'm doing. And da-da-da-da-da. Beautiful. That's what they look like. They smell amazing. I'm not like the world's biggest peanut butter and chocolate fan unless it's chilled, but these sound good, and honestly, beggars cannot be choosers when it comes to restricted diets. Let cool before cutting into bars. Store in an airtight container on the counter. Okay. Which one of you is Annie, the tall one or the pink one? Hi! I think you can probably guess. So, just about to wrap up the stream here. Let's see if we can actually just like taste a little bit of this and then try the ones in the freezer too.
We're gonna burn our tongues.
We're gonna burn our tongues. Just take a little bit and we'll blow and we'll be careful.
Wait for me.
Yep. Alright. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
No.
I'll eat that.
I'll eat that for $1.
Mm-hmm. So here, we'll try these, which are slightly chilled and slightly cohering a little bit better now.
They only need another 50 minutes of freezing.
Right. Similar.
Yeah, who knew?
Mm-hmm. Atticus the Catechus is lying on his side and staring at us.
So Annie, you have made a
Slightly
lot of
judging.
snacks tonight. What are you going to do with all of them?
Just gonna eat them, Ken. It's what you do with snacks. Nom 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 nom.
When you make this many, do you share them?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't exactly bring them to work anymore.
It's true, but I have a coworker who's going to be working with me.
Hey!
So
I know who that is.
So you get to eat some of these too.
Yay!
We'll have snack time, snack breaks.
I like it.
Oh, and we took a course on 20th century popular culture, and we get signed permission slips from our parents so we could watch the old Frankenstein and Dracula in middle school.
Wow.
I once got in trouble in confirmation class in 8th grade. I got in trouble a lot in that class because I was very, very smart alecky. And I did not want to be there. And the teacher had us watch the King David movie starring Richard Gere.
Oh, I don't know it.
Which was also rated R and had some fairly graphic violence in it. And when I saw the graphic violence and I looked at the box, it was rated R. I told the teacher, I was like, my mother doesn't allow me to watch these films yet, as I'm only 14. You didn't have us sign permission slips or anything. This is inappropriate. And she got really mad at me.
But you were right.
I was right, and that's why she was mad. She also got mad at me every time I talked about different contradictory things we were learning. Anyway.
I used to teach a film studies course at the 11th grade level.
Oh.
I could not show R-rated films, even with permission.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to show Lost in Translation, which is rated R.
Mm-hmm.
The exact same movie without any edits in Canada is PG-13.
Oh, no.
So I asked the principal, can I show the Canadian version? He said no.
Oh.
But he applauded my effort.
That is creative thinking. We did have to get permission slip signed to see Schindler's List in high school.
One of my classmates had to do that as well.
Yeah. Which is an important movie to see,
yes,
I think. It is worth seeing. It is hard to watch, but it is worth seeing. But anyway, on that note, Schindler's List.
Right, yay!
Great way to end the stream. Thank you to everyone for watching. This has been the baking stream with Annie and Ken.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed cooking things with you.
I enjoyed eating the things you cooked.
Thank you. So next Monday will be Rouge's cocktail stream. So don't miss out on that. I have no idea what she's going to make, and she probably doesn't either. She'll figure it out probably a day or two beforehand. And then the following Monday, which will be the 20th, I will be back to bake more things. I will be fresh from MarsCon, fried as heck, and I will be making something, probably with a minimal amount of cooking.
And I won't be here.
You won't be here, but I will be making something that doesn't involve a lot of baking. Probably more of these, possibly.
Great.
So that I can have them, because they are awfully tasty and healthy little bites. And Atticus is trying to get to his food. We have blocked his food with the stool. There you go. Oh, there's no food left. You ate it all. Aw, sad kitty. All right, well, it's time to give my cat a treat, so I will let you all go. Thank you so much for joining. Be sure to check out Ken's cool stuff online, which Transporter Lock podcast about Star Trek. Polygamer.
If you like Apple II, the website for my magazine is Juiced, JUICED.GS, which is the TLD for the Sandwich Islands.
Okay. Excellent.
GS.
GS. Oh.
Sorry. Not JavaScript. Graphics and sound.
There we go.
Yay. And road bits for my travel.
Yep.
It's in there previously.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
We're good.
So just scroll back in the chat. Roadbits.net, transporterlock.com, and polygamer.net.
Yep. So many different TLDs.
So many, but, create things. As I'm always telling people, just make stuff.
That's right.
Even if it's making beautiful garbage, is what my motto for my own songwriting is: make beautiful garbage. The important thing is to make things.
As my friend Miranda says, don't make art, just make something.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so on that note, everyone, have a wonderful week. Enjoy returning from the holidays, and we will catch you later.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.